often jest about your frugality, your cheapness, your unwillingness to part with hard-earned dollar bills.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that you don't, I mean, you're not an owner of a Yeti cooler. You know, you're not taking food with you on the road.
Yep.
By the way, Yeti, if you want to sponsor Jake with some coolers, like
I'd use it.
Well, we'd give you, like a $400 cooler. That's probably good for 2 15-second spots on our shows.
Sure.
Like, pretty big deal.
I utilize my 6-pack bag while traveling if they wanted to sponsor too.
That is a swell bag.
It's pretty awesome. I've had 3.
Well, I believe, have they all been pink in color?
One was silver with pink trim. The one I have now is pink with purple trim. And then I have a second pink with purple trim.
Of course you do.
Mm-hmm.
But not to digress too far from the point. But so when you're out and about, when you're on the road, you've got to grub somewhere. How do you figure that out?
Well, so yeah, normally I will always schedule my cheat meal with the wrestling show day, usually Saturday, where I know like, oh, hey, I'm going to be with some friends, so we should all go out and party. Like we did last night. And by party, I mean eat food. So
how everyone means party,
yeah.
Clearly.
So pretty much we will just go ahead and ask around. We'll ask some fans if there's any local wrestlers, like, hey, what's the place to be? We want cheap, kind of dirty is cool, but we also want the local experience. Just tell us where to go.
We want good food, but we don't want to have to take some panels. Is that what the industry kids call it?
I mean, yeah, I've heard that before.
The VD test?
So what can you recommend that we won't regret later? Like if there's a local version of a Waffle House around you, we want to be there. If there's not, we'll go to Waffle House.
Oh yeah, the old standard.
Mm-hmm.
Greasy waffles.
Well, Waffle House is a very professional wrestler place. There's a few others, like Cracker Barrel and Applebee's.
Cracker Barrel?
But Waffle House is the big one.
So you mentioned this past Saturday, or this Saturday, the one that just happened. Doesn't matter. The timeline doesn't matter.
Yep.
But, like, for instance, what'd you do?
Well, yeah, yesterday in Plymouth, we ran into a local guy who used to be a wrestler, and we asked him where we needed to go. So he's like, hey, man, we need to go to this Mexican restaurant. If not, there's this really awesome bar around the corner. So we went to the local Mexican restaurant, which was closed, probably because of the Mexican festival in town at which we wrestled. And then we went around the corner to this bar called The Office in Plymouth, and it was great. There was great food. It was cheap. The bartender was super witty. He got a hell of a tip.
Well, and plus, when you talking to your wife on the phone, where are you at? Oh, I'm at the office.
I'm at the office. Mm-hmm.
Credit card bill probably reads the office.
See, they would normally just feel like I'm probably using that as a metaphor for professional wrestling. Like, where are you at? I'm at the office.
Do you say that?
No, but I'm going to now.
Why wouldn't you?
No, I'll be at the office.
So that was a pretty swell experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was great. Great food.
Are they all?
Nah, not always. Sometimes they're really bad, but they're usually good.
Well, give me a for instance. What was a not so great experience?
Well, I'll give you what was a great experience that had a not great ending.
It sounds like we're splitting hairs, but sure, that's
cool.
Close enough.
So I'm going to tell you about the Greasy Pickle, Pete.
The GP.
The GP. So there's this company called Road Rubber Wrestling based out of Portland, Indiana. And it's a weird name, I know, but it's based off of Road Rubber Comedy, which is a lot of stuff with Donnie Baker from Q95. Like, funny dude. They do a bunch of stuff in Indiana, but they decided like 2 years ago, when you get into the wrestling game.
Yeah, don't most businesses go through that phase?
Yeah, everyone has a growing pain where they think they want to be a wrestler, but they don't, but they're going to try it out.
Like everyone who wants to be a bodybuilder, but no one wants to lift weight?
No, not that much weight. They don't want to eat that much, and they still want to have Ale Emporium pizza multiple times a week and maybe some B-Dubs wings.
Absolutely, yes. That sounds great. Can I do both? Sure.
You can try. So I go up to a Road Rubber Wrestling show. I think it might have been their first show they ever did. So Scotty Young helped hook me up with that. And at the time, I had a bestie/trainee named Blake. Blake was a pretty cool young man. So he and I roll up to the show, and we meet up with my buddy Dwayne at the show, and he rode with another dude named Brett, who is going to be a key factor in this story. I'll let everybody else form their own opinion on him. I'll try not to be biased. So we have a good time, a lot of fun at the show, and then we are getting ready to leave. So,
well, before we get into shenanigans, can you describe Brett, like from a physical standpoint? What is a Brett?
Just imagine like an average dude who probably hits on underage women and looks like kind of a jabron, but he wants to be like in a frat, but he probably wasn't in a frat because he's not that cool.
Was he like, 6 feet tall?
Like 5'8".
5'8".
Yeah.
Is he well put together and in shape?
I wouldn't say that. A bag of milk is a term that a lot of us use in the wrestling business to describe his physique.
Ooh. Does it break a code to explain what bag of milk means?
Yeah, it would, but I'm just going to let you go ahead and use your imagination for what bag of milk could mean. I mean, I would describe like a Russ Jones as, say, brick shit house. And you know what? That probably going to let you know what he looks like. And then this guy is a bag of milk.
Well, Russ Jones, he's kind of soft from what I hear. Physique aside.
And apparently you don't follow him on his new Instagram.
What is his new Instagram?
I mean, I don't know. He's got one.
Oh, and he hadn't even let you know?
No, I mean, I followed it. He's liked my stuff.
At Murderer of Children?
Yeah, I think it's at Alpha Russ 1988. I think there's an underscore in there somewhere. Follow him. He's huge. Brick shit housey.
But anyway, I apologize again with the tangents. So old Brad here.
Well, at the end of the show, we go ahead and we go up to the promoter because he's from Portland. We're like, hey, man, where do we need to be? Like, we need some food, greasy, local, dirty, preferably cheap. Just let us know. Like, where's the after party? Also, usually shows will have some type of after party or sponsor. That's normally the place you want to be anyway.
A nice catered event to show their appreciation.
Yeah, I've been to a few catered events, but I've also done a few thousand shows, and I can count on one hand the really well catered ones. Yeah, that aren't named WWE. So he says, you know what? You need to be at the Greasy Pickle, which by name alone sounds like a story to me. So we say, you know what? Of course we need to be at the Greasy Pickle, exactly where we need to be. So the four of us in our two cars go to the Greasy Pickle, and we walk in. It's probably like 11 p.m. on a Saturday night. And I know I've described this before where you walk into an establishment and legit everyone just turns around and stares at you, right? Like we did in Montana. Like where in your head you can hear the needles scratch because the outsiders came in.
Oh my God, there's new people in Montana. What happened?
Yeah. So that's what we get here in Portland, Indiana, because you don't know where that is, do you?
I don't.
I didn't. No one that listens is going to know where that is, except for a couple of our listeners who were at this show. But,
and Donnie Baker.
Well, Donnie Baker knows where it is. Yeah, of course.
His boat's probably listed for sale in Portland.
I mean, you probably Craigslist it, yeah. But you're going to have to look up like the Muncie Craigslist because Portland doesn't have its own. We get to the Greasy Pickle. Everyone turns and looks at us. I'm like, yep, we're the outsiders. That's cool. We're just going to go with it. And I think they knew that some wrestlers might come by. So I think right away, a lot of people knew who we were. And they knew the show was going on if they were there or not. So we go in and we just start talking to people. You know, the guys that drink order some drinks. And then a lot of the Portland women, a lot of them very attractive, by the way, start paying us a lot of attention.
Well, Indiana women are hot. Let's be real.
That's true. Yeah, I'll agree. It's very true. You know, a lot of the women start paying us a lot of attention. Like, okay, that's cool. The only thing is, every single one of them is married. Big ring on their finger, and their husband is there. So some of the guys start talking to us too, and right away we can tell, like, oh, a lot of these guys aren't our biggest fans for being in here, but they're going to try and buddy up to us to just be cool. And right away, I see the dude and start talking to the dude who I know is going to be trouble. Because I have it. It's like the radar. You know what I mean?
You're able to pick up on douchiness and or problem
It's
people?
my spider sense. Yeah, it's my spider sense.
Do you recall his name?
I don't think I ever got his name.
Could we call him Chad?
Chad, yeah. So Chad was 6'4", you know, decently built guy, but also not super in shape, probably 35 years old. Chad probably runs Portland. He's the guy, all right? So he didn't like this when 2.5 new alphas came into the bar, okay? So, but he tries to buddy up to us anyway. He wants to buy us drinks. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. So he probably bought Brett and Dwayne a couple drinks or something. And I'm just chilling out. I'm talking to people. There's a lot of cute girls there. And I found out one or two were single. I'm kind of flirting with them a little bit too. So we're having fun. It's a good time. And this goes for, I don't know, hour and a half, something like that. Now, all the guys I'm with have been drinking a little bit. You know, Blake's feeling good and Dwayne's feeling good and Brett is pretty drunk probably. So I'm like, all right, well, I think it's time we leave because I just know there's a point of no return when you're at a bar, right?
We've worn out our welcome here. We've had the most fun we're going to have.
Yeah, like the fun has been really great up until this point. Any more we stay is going to be a diminishing return and something bad might happen. And this guy, Chad, as the night went on, he put his hands on me more and more. I mean, like, gentle pat on the shoulder to slightly longer pat on the shoulder to like hand on my shoulder for a few seconds with a squeeze. And I'm like, you know what? Chad is about to be that guy who starts a problem. We probably still have another 20 minutes before there's an issue. So I'm like, all right, guys, we got to go. However, one of the people we're with will just not let us leave. He won't leave. I'm like, nah, man, we got to go. We got to go. We got to, like, trust me. We got to, no, we're having a great time. It's so good. It's this and that. I'm like, yeah, but it's about to not be a good time.
Yeah, but there's some married chicks I got to convince to go home with me. Their husbands won't mind.
And that was the biggest point, as he was like, oh, yeah, this married chick over there, like, yeah, she didn't let me, like, take her home. And I'm like, yeah, no, she's not. Her husband's here. You're drunk. And no, it's not going to happen. He's like, no. Like, and he starts getting pretty indignant about this. And then, so we aren't leaving. At which point, my buddy Dwayne's like, dude, just go. We'll be fine. We'll just drive home whenever he's ready. I'm like, no, man, that's not going to happen because there's going to be a fight. I know that. There's going to be a fight, and it's going to be started because of Brett. And you're going to get dragged into this because you're with him.
You and the milkman. You're going to have to take on the whole bar. Yeah.
And I'm not going to be the guy who left my friend behind. No man left behind, Pete. Eventually, about 20 minutes later, we eventually get Brett to say whatever to leaving. He's like, no, before we leave, we have to get a group picture with everyone in the Greasy Pickle. Because it was a night where he got to feel like a rock star. Like, he got to be the man. And there aren't a lot of nights where Brett probably feels like a rock star because he's not a rock star. And one could even make the argument that he's not exactly... I'll let you form your own opinion. Brett probably had a great time in high school. Let's just say, like, his prime was high school.
He and C. Bentley were boys?
Probably. He was probably a great baseball player or something back in the day. We started gathering everyone around for a picture, and a lot of the patrons, like, they liked us and stuff, but they didn't want to be pulled away from their bar stool for a picture anyway, and I didn't either. So we take a picture, and then as everyone's stepping away from the picture, out of the peripheral on my left side, I see Chad winding up and swinging at me. Now, Pete, I'm not going to claim to be a tough guy. You know me. I don't claim to be a tough guy.
He does routinely. Don't let him lie to you. Every chance he gets. He's wearing a shirt right now that says tough guy on it.
Whatever opinion other people have of me, they've created on their own because of my actions, Pete. I don't run around saying how tough I am. But if you want to think that, that's fine. If you want to,
again, it's on a shirt.
If you want to tweet that, I'll retweet that. But I'm not going to say it. So I'm humble. Stay humble. So I see the Chad swinging at me, and I see it's coming straight from my stomach. So I just flex as tight as I can, just like Rocky in the movies when he does the sit up and he's getting a med ball smoked on his stomach, just like that. So Chad smokes me in the stomach with this punch, and it was painful, Pete. Chad was a very strong guy. But I did everything in my power to act like he didn't touch me at all. So I just go ahead, I look him straight in the eyes, hand on his shoulder. I'm like, yeah, man. Hey, man, you're a good punch. You're a really strong guy. As I'm making like eerie eye contact that says like, I want to kill you, bro. And at the same time, out of the peripheral on my right, I just see Dwayne and Blake's faces that are just white with horror because they think shit's about to go down and everything's about to break loose in this bar and there's going to be a fight. And I turned to him like, yeah, this is why I said we need to leave 20 minutes ago. Because I knew this was happening, and I'm pretty heated right now. But those are the two dudes that were ready to leave. So I'm not heated at them, but I'm heated that this jerk just punched me, and I'm not gonna like retaliate. Because fighting in public for free is dumb. Like, that's just stupid. Why would you fight for free? Why would you fight in public? That's a dumb thing to do. That doesn't make any sense to me. I get asked all the time, like, oh, yeah, but hey, we should fight. I'm tougher than you about this. And I'm like, bro, I don't fight for free. That's just always my response. Because that's stupid. Why would you fight for free?
Does anyone ever put money on the table? Like, how about $100?
No, but if they did...
Would you just hit them in the face and take the money?
That's a good idea, actually. I'll think about that next time. Yeah, but I'd probably make fun of the amount. Like, you think I work for that? Maybe if I got everyone in the bar to throw in $100 and there was like a cop there and he was going to be cool with it and just let it go. So let me walk out.
Yeah, that would be the problem. Fighting's one thing, but especially in a bar situation, there's always somebody you would get real upset. You've somehow insulted their integrity or your masculinity in front of their wife. Now they got to go get their gun and prove a point. Yeah, fighting in a bar is just dumb.
See, yeah, and
no win. It's no win situation.
Yeah, and so I've actually asked this before when I go into a few places. Like, is this the type of place that if there's a bar fight, they call the cops, or they just kind of let everyone go home? Because there's different types of places, there's in Fishers, yeah, you're probably going to jail, right? But in, I don't know, let's say a random country city.
What's this, Mexico?
In Mexico, Indiana, you're probably just going to fight in that bar and everyone goes home because people fight in that bar every night. No big deal. I bet at Sid's in Noblesville people fight and they just go home. Probably fine.
Ooh. I'd say that's a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of officers hang out outside Sid's. Because if you're drinking in Noblesville, it's kind of the spot where you want to go to drink. Maybe the Silver Dollar, where they still allow smoking and no one really goes in there.
That's the fighty place.
Cash only spot. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know that's the rough place. My grandpa always told me that. I've never been there.
Hey, you're not missing much.
Cool. I need to go in at some point now.
Start a fight?
Just to check it out. Yeah, I don't know if I want to fight any of those people. They probably fight every night.
Well, we just determined, sincerely, if there's any nugget from the story, like bar fights serve no real purpose. No good can come from a bar fight.
They don't. No one's ever come off really tough because of a bar fight.
No, you're always just an idiot. Yeah,
you're a jerk if it gets into a fight in bars. It's not a good precedent to set. So at that point, I go ahead and I turn and I just walk outside and I probably said something like, not aggressive to Dwayne, but aggressive in Dwayne's direction about like, get that son of a bitch out here because we're all leaving. So a minute later, he actually pulls guy number 4 out the door, and guy number 4 is like starts cursing at me from taking away from his like married woman that he's trying to take home or whatever. And we're like, I don't even know if he saw me get hit. And so I gave him like a little piece of my mind, like I just got hit by some 6'4" country douchebag because of you, like you little slimy POS, something like that. I should have probably been a little more aggressive and adamant about it. I probably should have laid him out, honestly. But let's be honest, he couldn't take one of my punches. So he's really lucky to be in something where he fake fights. Let's just say that. But yeah, so we finally hop in our cars and we leave. But that was the night at the Greasy Pickle, which was great up until the last 20 minutes.
Now, if you're going to Yelp review this place, how many stars out of 5?
4.
Country douche aside, or is that factoring in country douche?
I'll factor it in. Yeah, 3.5. Can you half star?
I think you can.
Yeah, I'll 3.5 star the Greasy Pickle, or 4 star it just because it's a great local establishment that if you go to Portland for any reason, that's probably the place you should eat. And it's just got a great name.
I think this should be a fun aside, just in general. Mm-hmm. Any story you give where there's like a place you ate, I think you got to Yelp review it for the people. Man, I think your listeners are well traveled. Yeah,
well, in that case, in the office in Plymouth, Indiana, I'll 4 star that, 4.5 star maybe.
Ooh.
But the Greasy Pickle, yeah, that gets 4, 3.5.
No, you can't put it on the same level as The Office. The Office has got to be at least, a full star better. You didn't get punched in The Office.
That's true, I didn't. And the guy was very witty. The bartender was. The bartenders at this place weren't very witty.
But the married women, very nice.
They're pretty cool. Yeah, the only single girl, I think I even might have asked a girl at that bar for her number, and she was like, no.
Ooh.
I was like, oh. I guess timeline-wise, maybe was this last January? Something like that. Actually, yeah, so it was longer than a year and a half ago. Yeah, doesn't matter. But yeah, that's how I do this. Oh, by the way, in Fountain Square, it looks like Pepe's Grill is reopened. Have you ever been to Pepe's?
I've never been to Pepe's.
If you go to Fountain Square, Pepe's is like a greasy Waffle House dirty diner that had been down there forever, but like a year ago, maybe 6 or 8 months ago even, it closed. And that used to be a place Blake and I used to go regularly when we do anything in Fountain Square, because you could go get like a full breakfast for like $4 or $5.
No kidding?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And the guys that worked were always super cool. Probably did some time. And that's who I want to cook my food.
Well, shoot. Brewdog is open down there, too. So there's now a new beer establishment, in addition to, like, the 4 or 5 other straight breweries that are there. White Rabbit's there. Man, there's entertainment and food just all over the place.
Fountain Square is great. If I could be sponsored by Fountain Square, I'd do that, too. A buddy of mine had a show at the Hi-Fi the other day. It was great. Square Cat Vinyl's down there. It's great. I took the Red Line for the first time the other day, too.
Yeah, peep his Instagram stories.
Yeah.
Boom, Jake on the Red Line. Yeah, Fountain Square or Indiana Department of Tourism, or if there's like there are city tourism departments. Mm-hmm. We'll take your money. We'll shout out places and things and experiences.
Yeah, why not? I'll do it. I love my city.
Bam.
Yep. We also need to go to this Man's Diner, right?
Oh, Man's Grill?
Man, yeah.
You and I were there once.
Yeah, that was a great, like, dirty food place.
And that was almost more breakfast than I could eat. And that was
Yeah.
like a half order of biscuits plus every other thing on their menu. That was great.
We should go down there at some point in like the next week or two.
Man's breakfast at the Man's Diner.
5 stars. I'll give that 5 stars.
Oh, that's 5
It's
stars.
close to downtown Indy for anyone who's listening.
Oh, yeah. Great third shift spot, too. Once you get off work, go in there.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
But yeah, that sums up some food places. Really, I could do multiple episodes on all the food places I've been. But I just want to talk about the Greasy Pickle today.
Well, hey, and if you're interested, I mean, special side episodes or something, you guys are driving, comment below or comment wherever. Write in, email.
Dude, we should do it. We should do a Patreon. Like a $1 or $2 a month donation gets you our side episode where I just talk about great places to eat on the road.
Dude, I'm down. And in fact, then you guys could vote. We'll use your Patreon money to go eat at a place that you vote for with your dollar bills.
Ooh, that's a great idea. Yeah, keep up to date at Off the Cliff Pod, at JCommon2012, and at Multimedia Hustle for the updates on this Patreon.